A little bit of harassment going in, but just he really needs to accomplish something with these mutas, I think. He hasn't accomplished anything yet, and he really kind of needs to. But it's going to be much, much harder for him to now because there's turrets up everywhere. And Zerglings, oh man, come on Type B, you should know better than that. Send out a single Zergling in the lead to take the mine hits. Although it looks like Fantasy actually placed the mines in a position on that ramp where they didn't actually catch the Zerglings moving out. Still running those Vulture Revs around and still keeping Type B on his toes there. And Mutaling actually could be theoretically pretty good against this. If he can get a good amount of Mutas and Lings in at the same time, Lings can be very, very good against Goliaths if you get a good position and if they get a good surround and that kind of thing. And especially if they're distracted by the air units. Here he comes in. He's going to do a surround with the Zerglings. Not a very good surround, actually. And he's just attacking frontally with most of those Zerglings, not doing as much damage as he could with those Zerglings, but a bunch of Mulas coming in, a ton of Mulas coming in. There's only one turret within range at this point. The Goliath slowly getting polished off. Little by little, he's going to have to run the SCVs. I don't know what he's doing with his SCVs, actually. I guess he's going after the Zerglings that aren't even there anymore. But down to a single Goliath. All those Goliaths are going to die. And, wow. And he's going to have to run his SCVs back to his main base into protection. This is really bad. He is in full breach. And that is over a group of mutas now. He's going to be able to pick off, the way his factories are placed, he's going to be able to pick off the Goliaths as they come out. Right now, he can just camp those mutas on top of the factory and kill the Goliaths as they come out and also kill the factory. And that is the one with his machine shop, so he's going to be nowhere near tanks if he decides to follow up with Hydralisk, but I don't think he has a den anyway. Now the Lings coming in to be able to kill those turrets as well. Fantasy is in full breach. I think we might see Fantasy get eliminated from the MSL right now. He is in a horrible, horrible position. Type B now has his third base up as well. He's forced him to lift that command center. This is horrible for Fantasy. Wow. We are going to see the favorite of this group get eliminated, I think. Game's not over yet, but this is not looking good at all. Look at that. Zerglings running in and killing turrets in the main base. He needs to back off. There's too many turrets. Back off, Type B. That's a little bit more than you got for the moment. But, oh, he's going after the command center, though. Oh, and he failed. Failed by Type B. He wasn't even targeting the command center. He was, like, A-moved. And so his Mutalisks were were attacking. Well, that Mutalist did a lot of good. His Mutalisks were attacking the turrets. And he killed off a couple turrets, but he could have killed off the command center. It had like 150 hit points left. There was only one SCV repairing that command center, and he missed his opportunity. So that would have almost clinched the win. I mean, that command center can't do much good at the moment because it has to just float. I mean, there's nothing he can't land it without losing it. But that's 400 minerals that he doesn't have to spend to try and get an expansion later. And in the meantime, he can try and build up his forces here. We did see him getting a den, so he's going to try and maybe get some Hydralisks now. But, yeah, he's got a lot of mutas, and he's got definite map control. And critically, again, 3 bases. He's got that third base going. He's had it going for a while, so he is in a really strong position. Only 2 gas, though. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten that third gas mine at his third base. I guess he hasn't really needed it. But look at that. He's got a control group and a half of mutas. He's got a couple groups of Zerglings as well. So if Fantasy tries to move out and retake that expansion, which it looks like he is going to try and do, then he's going to be in a world of hurt because there's going to be a lot of Zerglings waiting for him. Yeah, and so he still has to stay behind his choke point. He's going to be able to survive very easily behind that choke point. It's a very good choke point, especially as Terrans can make use of that very, very well. But that did a lot of good, Fantasy. Good job laying that mine within range of the Overlord's sight. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so he can wall up behind that choke for a long time and survive. But one base is you just can't do it off one base. Anyway, so he's actually decided to come out and try and take his second base now. Wouldn't be surprised if Type B runs in there and stomps on that base again. He's only got like 8 Goliaths to defend now, maybe 10 or something like that. Whereas I think he could even take that out just with his Mutalisks and Lings alone. He's also got Hydralisks in the mix now. The mines won't do as much good as Fantasy needs them to. I really think that we're going to see Fantasy, like I said, the favorite in this group. Definitely he's the only really top player in this group, going to go down in this series. And here is Fantasy's final defense. He needs to bring SCVs off the line or something, because he's getting slaughtered right now. A ton of units going down. The Mulus all over the place. Not as many Mulus as we saw earlier, though. And more Goliaths coming in to reinforce, so he is going to have to fall back after all. So never mind. I thought he was going to have to pull SCVs. I guess he knew better than I did. Look, I thought he had more Mulisks as a thing. And maybe he wasn't using all of his Mulisks. But I could have sworn he had like 2 control groups of mutas earlier, and now he only had less than 1, it looked like, in that attack. Unless I just miscounted there. The Hydralisk not doing as much damage as they could either, so that was kind of crazy. 1-1 upgrades on the Goliaths, by the way. I'll check what the, let's see, he's got, I'm going to see if I can check what the Muta and Hydra upgrades are. Whoa, that was a lucky snipe on that mine. So Fantasy somehow managing to take his expansion again. And, you know, again, this is why it would have been crucial for him to actually, you know, kill off those that command center when he had the chance, and he didn't really catch that. He didn't catch the command center when he had the chance, and it's costing him now, because now Fantasy is mining off 2 bases. Sorry, someone pinged me on IRC. It was distracting because my IRC client icon was bouncing up and down in my dock. Anyway, he was asking about the rest of this series, so I was like, I'm casting it right now. Anyway, actually, no, he wasn't asking about the rest of the series, my bad. Building a 3rd command center, getting ready to try and take a 3rd base, kind of a silly position to put that command center, though. Well, actually not that bad of a position. It's kind of in front, so it also works, would function as a blockade against Hydras and that sort of thing. But, you know, he doesn't have a lot of siege tanks to stick behind that blockade anyway, but it still does help to have a choke to funnel the forces down. And oh, Vulture goes down. Not gonna be able to sneak around and get a kill. But here's the thing: is Type B is going nuts, going crazy on the expansions. He's got the 11 o'clock base, the 10 o'clock base now, and Fantasy does not have enough forces to move out to try and kill those bases. Type B still has a major army advantage here, and no matter how many mines you can go around, running around, planting in front of your base, it's not going to help you kill off expansions. Only 2 tanks in the mix. He's going to need more tanks than that if he's going to really go up against these Hydras in a really meaningful way. Wow. So, Type B is really gearing up for a mass game here. Fantasy's going to try and get that 3rd base going, and, you know, take it to a longer macro game. Terrans are good at turtling, so he's, you know, always got that possibility of just turtling. And here comes the Doom! Doom for Fantasy! There's the Hydra drop. Only 2 tanks, and they're out of position. If he had more tanks, he'd be able to clean this up very easily. And his own choke point functioning against him. His own forces can't get into his base to kill off these Hydralisks. He's able to kill off several ICVs, killed off a few buildings, supply depots already. Mutalisks coming in. He can target the tanks with the Mutalisks, but he's actually have to fall back because too many Goliaths there, and he's not able to engage the Goliaths with the Hydralisks. But there are a ton of Hydralisks still alive in his base, and now he's going in. Here's going to be the killing blow while Fantasy's base is while Fantasy's army is in his own base. The Hydras come in the front. There's 2 tanks there to defend against the front, but there's nothing in front of them to stop them from getting obliterated. He's going to lose his front. He's lost his back as well. By the way, +2 armor on those Mutalisks is making them function really well against those Goliaths. They're able to get in and take a lot more hits. +1 attack on the Hydralisk as well. Kills off the command center. 2 command centers for the price of 1. Kills off the building command center, or the recently built command center, and the natural expansion, and killed a ton of SCVs and depots in his main base. Fantasy is screwed. Look at this. He's having to lift his main command center to try and take a 3rd base right now. And he is just in horrible position right now. I don't know why he's still in the game. Maybe because, you know, I mean, he had a chance of getting easily into the round of 4, the semifinals, in this tournament, or, you know, at least the round of 8 if he made it out of this group stage. Because, you know, he's a very strong player, and, well, there's still more group stages in the round of 32 for the MSL, but still. Yeah, he had a really good chance of going far. I mean, he's a very strong player, and so he's got to be, you know, really hurting to be looking at himself about to get eliminated from the group stage here. Look at that. He's landing his command center next to the other one so that he can mine a little bit here. Here comes the final attack. Oh, beautiful mine's going to take out a bunch of Hydralisks, but there's more where that came from, Fantasy. Mulus going in, taking the Goliath fire easily with the +2 armor, killing off the tanks, leaving it wide open for the Hydralisk to run in there and do the real damage. And even though he's dropped vultures off in the field and try and do some counterattacks, it's just not enough. There's GG from Fantasy. Type B and Stats are going to be advancing from this group. Wow, so crazy group. Video's about to end, so I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Look out for more in the future. Take care.